Добрый день, уважаемые коллеги, дамы и господа.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. I'm very glad to welcome you on behalf of the Assembly of Eurasian Nations and our Director General, Mr. Beleninov. We're here at their session devoted to the Eurasian Partnership, Dialogue of the Leaders. And within the framework of this exhibition, we are going to discuss such topics as public diplomacy, trust, role of leaders, role of civil society. And we are aware very much that any economic cooperation, any business relationships are possible only within the space of trust and credit. During our summit, His Excellency Mr. Mirziyoyev, President of Uzbekistan, mentioned that today at the international arena there is a crisis of trust. The lack of trust is felt, and at the assemblies of Eurasian organizations, we specifically emphasize that trust is the fundamental thing for any cooperation, and trust between people comes out to trust of economies and trust between the states. And I'm very much hope that our distinguished speakers would be able to answer the questions we ask them, and then we would like to thank you, dear audience, everyone who has come to this session, and we also thank the Directorate of INAPROM for the provided opportunity, and we also hope that in the future we'll continue our cooperation with INAPROM at all platforms on the matters of economic cooperation, business partnership. We will discuss humanitarian aspects of the economic cooperation. I'm very pleased to say that today my co-moderator, Mr. Timur Rahimov, who is Deputy Director of the Diplomacy Academy under the University of Global Economy and Diplomacy, under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Uzbekistan. I welcome him, and please, few words. Thank you for such an detailed introduction, and I do hope that this event will meet the objectives which we initially planned. And the organizers of this panel session are the International Council of Non-Governmental Organizations of the Assembly of Eurasian Nations, Center of Public Education of Shanghai, Cooperation Organization in Uzbekistan. And we also hope that today we would be able to discuss such an important topic as how to make Eurasia to be the space for trust and confidence. How can we go from trust between people to the trust of economies, and which values unite the nations living in the Eurasian continent, and which are common values we share, and how should we build the big Eurasian continent today, and what the civil society institutions could do for developing the atmosphere, the environment of trust and confidence. Integrity also will be considered, and I believe that today's event will be open, and all those participants who are here in this room would be able to make their presentations and share their opinions on the as a result of this discussion. I propose to continue in the form of live discussion, and we allocate 5 minutes to each speaker, please. And then we plan to continue working today until 3:30. Thank you, Timur. According to the agenda, we have 1.5 hours after a short break in the same room. We'll organize the international roundtable dedicated to the role of public diplomacy in strengthening Russian-Uzbekistan relationships, and these topics are interrelated for sure. The Assembly of Eurasian Nations has been cooperating with the Eurasian Economic Commission for many years, and we are very happy to say that Mr. Glaziev, unfortunately, he couldn't participate in person at INAPROM, but he shared his presentation online. He is the Minister on Integration and Microeconomies of Eurasian Economic Commission, the member of the Supreme Council of the Eurasian Assembly of Nations. Please. Good afternoon, dear participants of the plenary session. I'm very happy to deliver my address to you and to brief you about the activities we're continuing on the economic cooperation, which is the key topic of the industrial exhibition today, being held in Uzbekistan. We know that Uzbekistan is the observer of the Eurasian Economic Union, and we discuss our plans for cooperation, joint projects, implementation of joint activities, expansion of our cooperation, and it's very good that having discussed the industrial cooperation, we beyond these discuss human values which unite us. We discuss common motivations for cooperation, and this is very important in the current circumstances because everything is changing so quickly, and the common things and templates of cooperation are for the sake of commercial benefits are shifted now towards the interpersonal relationships. More they are seemed to be impractical no any longer, and the impact of the external environment on various forms of economic cooperation is felt more and more explicitly, and the global economy is going through the transformation. We go towards new economic settings, and we need to feel the values which unite us, the values of cooperation, mutual understanding, mutual benefits as well, and also combination of competitive advantages, ability to build up long-term cooperation, implement joint projects based on deep mutual trust, which is founded on our historical legacy and our life in the common state, which we used to live for more than 100 years. And this taught us how to understand each other, trust each other, and build up new plans for the future. So the matters of longer-term partnerships are the most important for us as a priority for Eurasian economic structures, since we developed the norms of economic interaction estimated for many decades in advance. Currently, we are working on the key areas of the Eurasian Economic Union areas until 2035, and considering those challenges which we face at the moment, our countries participants of the Eurasian Economic Union and our partners, we specifically place particular attention to the longer-term projects, and within our longer-term proposal outline, we also would like to share the common values which identify the format of our economic cooperation, which will be the foundation for our longer-term plans. At the moment, we accomplish the activity on strategic development objectives for Eurasian Economic Union until 2035, and we have accomplished more than a half of activities. And those areas of cooperation which are being discussed today in Uzbekistan at the regular INAPROM event are still not very much implemented in full. As per the instruction given by our heads of states, we need to provide the list of integration projects which would be the symbolic for our cooperation in high-tech spheres, in the research-intensive spheres. We have discussed tens of such projects and discussed those at our technical council meetings. However, we are still far from making the list, which could be interesting for all the participants of Eurasian economic integration. And if upon common discussions and assessment of the proposed projects at this INAPROM as well, we could have any specific proposal which could be the symbol for Eurasian economic integration, joint projects to be innovative, accounting competitive advantages in high-tech research and development spheres would be very useful. Also, we work on industrial program implementation of our research and technical cooperation, and this also should be filled with the specific content. We also plan to implement investment projects. We discussed a lot today about modernization of transport sphere, specifically on the corridors north, south, west, east, which could take up this large-scale redistribution of the trade logistics, which is happening over the last years. Just in 2022, we were the witnesses of these fundamental changes in our economic relationships and logistics and the share of European countries in general. And those countries which are non-friendly for Russia anymore has dropped down 13%, and the number of friendly countries increased actually the same 13%. And this boom of cooperation with the countries from the South and East Asia are the modernization means the modernization of infrastructure and require big infrastructure projects. The leaders of our countries have came together today to discuss industrial innovations, and they make a focus on human values, public diplomacy, and this opens up new horizons for our cooperation. And today we say that none of the managers or politicians could substitute human relations and good trust between people. And this trust could be built up on understanding of common values and motivations, mindsets, and values which unite us, which are based on our spiritual traditions. And this is the best foundation for building up the longer-term projects, for expanding our interaction and search for new areas for joint economic development. Let me wish you all successes and wish to have your recommendations.
Спасибо.
Thank you. The system of modern international relations is currently in the status of uncertainty and crisis. Therefore, many countries, naturally, they are very much interested in providing their own security and development of their own economic and financial buffer. This is one of the priority tasks for the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of the Russian Federation. And our Chamber of Commerce and Industry provides expert support to the companies who want to enter the international market, and they also maintain their support for their future activities. Now we invite Mr. Vladimir Padalka, Vice President of the Chamber of Commerce of the Russian Federation, please.
Добрый день, уважаемые коллеги.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. My name is Vladimir Podolko, and I am responsible for international cooperation for working with foreigners who have invested into the Russian Federation. Speaking about EU as a structure, as a complex structure, which incorporates big 5 countries. I would like to ask the attention of Uzbekistan. The more we move forward of a mutual integration and cooperation, the more this balance we might have between the big 5 countries and Uzbekistan, because now the preferences during the execution of the state tenders are given to the companies that are being part of the big 5 and into the EU Eurasian Union. And also, the preferences will be given to the first block of participants. That's why, knowing that in the business community and at the highest level of the Republic of Uzbekistan, these issues are being discussed, we can say that our community is which way it is going to. So our colleagues are enjoying the working, building the partnership, extending the cooperative borders, and now we're working with Eurasian commercial union on different technical regulations, dispute resolution in arbitrage courts. We are trying to unite different components of the market, create the common approaches to digitalization, to labeling, marking, and everyone knows that the main group of the product variety is wide enough. And if you want to sell your goods at the market of Russia, you will have to face the different regulations, standards. And I would like to say that in this area of Russia and Uzbekistan, in Eurasian Union, we have, for example, a trade chamber, chamber of commerce and trade. We have a Russian Uzbek consultative council. Around 100 companies from different countries are being involved in it, and it usually has the representatives of small and medium enterprises. The big companies are easier to operate. They don't have many challenges, while the medium and small enterprises, they have much more challenges. That's why we need to lever those little companies by the help of the Chamber of Commerce and Trade. We had the meeting of the Trade Council, and I could see that some people who were at the meeting are now at the session. And 2 vice prime ministers, they were at this council, and they said we're the top level, and the interparliamentary commissions, part of the interparliamentary missions, and now we need someone from the bottom or the medium level to help us to work more. Why we still don't have a mutual reconciliation systems? Why we don't have the mutual exchange systems? So please lobby yourself, show your interests. It's very normal that you are promoting the interests of your company and of your country. Thank you very much, Mr. Vladimir. I am very sure that you and us, we will be feeling all the necessities that are needed in the market in terms of the agreements and communication. I would like to say that the Prime Minister of Republic of Uzbekistan have been participating has been participating very much on this meetings and events, and it's very noteworthy to say that Uzbekistan, together with Eurasian Union, he has been part of the launched Eurasian Trade Council, and I bet that this council will be helping to improve and to help to strengthen, foster the cooperation between Russia and Uzbekistan, and also I think it will help our producers to feel much more comfortable on the markets of each other. So Yugra Khanty-Mansiysk district is a very fast developing region of Russia, and they are being represented on all the international platforms. We have signed the agreement about partnership with Khanty-Mansiysk district, autonomous district, and Miss Natalia, she is mayor of the district, and she always participates on different international events, and I know that a big IT forum will be taking place very soon, where all of us will be represented, and also we have the director of the Department of Economical Development, whom I would of the Parliament of Khanty-Mansiysk district. Also, he represents the populations and minorities in Khanty-Mansiysk, and also we have the representative offices. We opened this representative offices not only in Uzbekistan but also in other countries. Unfortunately, we don't have any representative office in Uzbekistan, but despite of that, we have a lot of partners, and I bet in the near future we'll be discussing opening the representative office in Uzbekistan. Now I would like to give the floor to Mr. Roman Gelkin, how they see the Eurasian partnership and how Khanty-Mansiysk autonomous district or region feels itself, what role it plays on the international arena. Thank you very much for giving me the floor. This is our third participation in INNAPROM that's being held in Uzbekistan, and every year our delegation is growing and growing, and we are mostly focused on business, on entrepreneurship, and last year it was forestry. This year we are participating with oil and gas servicing companies. We are planning to extend our services and open the window to new spheres. So for understanding the notion, 42% of the total oil and gas is being extracted in Russia. We have around $40 billion of turnover, and this means that we are actively participating in potential exports. The produce of our producers is being sold at the markets of 62 different countries. We don't only deal with the forestry, but also oil and gas, creative industries, food security, and etc. So we try to give special attention not only to technological sphere, but also all other spheres. And speaking about the topic of our current event, not only economic cooperation should be the core, the pillar of our partnership, but also we should take into account that there are many other components. And the main principle is that our cooperation should be mutually beneficial, and we have more than 100 nationalities who is living on the territory of our countries, and we try all the people and all the people to be friendly. And yesterday we had an event on national unity. More than 40 different nationalities participated in the event, and they showed their brotherhood relationship. And we try to support local traditions, to save them, and to develop tourism. We have a lot of different events that happen in our countries, and those are very of high interest to tourists. That's why, taking a chance, I would like to invite you all to our region, which is full of authentic tradition.
Большое внимание мы этому уделяем.
We have a special law, roadmap, and concept for the creative industries. And guys, youngsters who work in this industry, they're serving like an ambassadors. And creative industry incorporates 8,500 youngsters, and definitely they serve as a advertising motto, advertising pioneers for advertising our country. And yesterday, when we were at the booth, we could remember that last year we had the representative of Khanty-Mansiysk district, Miss Vera Kondratieva. She was an artist, authentic artist, and at the same time she's she was the participant in a prom. And this year, actually, people were asking us, where is Miss Vera Kondratieva, because people could remember her from last year, and people were asking us whether she is participating this year and whether she will have a performance. And also we have different projects on ecological sphere and on digitalization sphere. We have the projects of Save and Preserve. We have different programs. Also, we have different examples of mutual
Люди, которые придерживаются как раз
interaction between our minorities, northern minorities, and modern services. Definitely they should have the access to the modern services. That's why we do the monitoring of their usage. We provide them additional access to internet. We provide them, we install the antennas for their internet access, so they will have opportunity for education and development. We give a lot of opportunities for youngsters. We create centers for young youth development, scientific and IT development centers. And one of the challenges that we have is to create the conditions that will help our youth population to develop, which will help them to stay in the regions without leaving it, without relocating. And in BRICS and SCO areas, we can say that on July 6 and 7 we will have Khanty-Mansiysk event in Khanty-Mansiysk about the BRICS cooperation, and definitely you will enjoy the nature and the authenticity of our district. We will discuss different topics starting from security up to the technological innovations. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak about my district.
Yes, in Khanty-Mansiysk, indeed, they place particular attention to capacity development and leadership development. And during this IT forum back in 2019, we actually launched a new project which we call Our Future in New Faces. The essence of this project was that in different forums, our young girls or boys school students be represented in face. So their faces were posted, and this was supported by the Khanty-Mansiysk Authority and our non-commercial organization Laboratory of Digital Transformation. And nowadays this project is being in progress, and these young people, they receive grants and premiums, and we believe that this is a very good program to support our young talented people. Thank you very much for that. Just recently, we visited India. We have a format of days of assembly of Eurasian nations in different countries. Over the week, we organized various events, including economic, business, cultural, research and science, and youth activities. And then our ex-co-chairman of our Assembly of Eurasian Nations and head of Supreme Consultative Council, Mr. Bersingh, was one of their initiators of this event, and we had a very big business forum together with the Federation of Chamber of Commerce of India. And then the business community of India got very much interested in cooperating with Russia and other countries, and who is, besides all of that, is the director of the Policy Fund of India. Please welcome.
Now become a vital new element of global economic architecture. Observers feel that this region has huge potential in the next few decades, with experts predicting 25% of growth in GDP by 2023. Will give boost to employment, food security, infrastructure. We need to focus on building strong coalitions, relationships, and partnerships based on shared priorities, identities, and interests. Strengthening ties between people can be achieved by promoting cultural and educational exchanges, as well as tourism and sports in fields such as art, education, scientific research, and technology. Promoting economic independence by expanding cooperation to build harmony and trust through trade, investment, joint economic projects, besides building platforms for constructive dialogue and interaction leading to more stable and cooperative relationships. Also, encouraging political dialogue on a regular frequency through leaders at various echelons would enable sharing information, expertise, and joint initiatives for a deeper understanding of challenges and benefits for all the parties involved. We need to build a pool of leaders with a vision and collaborative capacity, and also those who can think beyond their national concern. It is also critical to develop connectivity, communication, and infrastructure, particularly in the hinterland of Eurasia, to bolster growth. Public diplomacy shall be a key factor in achieving these goals, while civil society plays a vital role as a facilitator. The success of this partnership will largely be determined by the effectiveness of institutions and their ability to make decisions aggregating the interests of all member states, and also their capacity to enforce these decisions. A strong institutional structure is therefore indispensable for the development of integration process. There are institutional differences on account of different approaches to standardization, certification, and registration, besides lack of interdepartmental coordination and bureaucratic barrier, and also corruption. To transit from people's trust to economic trust requires building solid legal and institutional frameworks, promoting transparency and accountability. Since the Eurasian economy is largely driven by hydrocarbons and minerals, there is too much dependence on the prices of raw materials. Unequal competition at times leads to issues like downsizing in the workplace, unemployment, and even social tensions. Therefore, the issues of coordination of macroeconomic and structural policies need to be addressed on war footing. Active cooperation in specific sectors must be developed and nurtured. It is also important to give priority to technology transfer and investment cooperation. Friends, the Eurasian continent, like everything else on the planet, needs new specific innovative mechanisms for building a joint future based on shared values, trust, justice, equality, spiritual regeneration, and mutual respect. Time is running out, and if we do not act fast enough, we'll be doing at our own peril. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Да, очень
Indeed, very informative presentation. And if we consider that India is an active participant of as a partner who develops relationships with the countries on bilateral level, and recently this country actually launched a mechanism on multilateral cooperation, India and Central Asian countries. And today we see that on the Eurasian space, people have been already very active, and the role of public community and public diplomacy has been also announced, and the policy of this country also proves that these all matters are relevant. And Uzbekistan also very active in the policy of developing its economy, and one of the key specific areas of such is development of agriculture, agro-industrial sphere of the country. And the Assembly of Economy of Uzbekistan is Economic Assembly of Uzbekistan is one of the key agencies which works in this particular area. And it unites various sectors, also includes various business areas, and also actively participates in economic development of our country. I would like to give the floor now to the chairman of the Agribusiness Association, deputy chairman of the Economic Assembly of Uzbekistan on Agro-Industrial Complex, Mr. Kamil Ikramov. Please.
здравствуйте.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, dear participants of our panel session. I'm very happy to be part of this event, and I'm very happy to greet you all here in Uzbekistan. The Assembly of the Economy of Uzbekistan is an assembly that unites the business community in Uzbekistan, and it serves as a uniting bridge with different countries. Our assembly unites more than 30 different business associations, and these associations are in different sectors, and more than 1,000 entrepreneurs and enterprises are being united in our assembly. We unite the interests of more than 60,000 farmers. One of the major missions of the assembly is improving the economical diplomacy, because to attract the investments, and we need to share exchange the experience, and also improve the trade. We're working with different associations from foreign countries and also associations of Uzbekistan. We believe that we work on creating the favorable climates for investments in order to build more prospering economy and partnership. Our goal is to improve international relations, and we are at the foremost ongoing at the front line. We are the catalyzers of the necessary reforms that are needed. On behalf of the Assembly of Economy of Uzbekistan, the massive reforms that are being held in our country during the last 5 years, they are focused on strengthening the cooperation between the countries of Central Asia. So we will become more friendlier and more cooperative to each other. At the same time, we're keen on improving the healthy partnership. The Assembly of Economics also provides help for foreign investors and provides the support, information support, legal support in starting the business, and etc. Our company has the system of cooperation and support, and you can address us with any help that you need in all of your beginnings. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for your attention. We have signed the agreement on cooperation, and today's meeting actually shows that our cooperation and our partnership is very important and needed. This association is very important and does very interesting job. It has very interesting mission. The Assembly on Agricultural Industrial Development. It's very important when foreign investors, they come searching for the platforms for investment. This association, this assembly, actually serves as a supporting pillar. We also provide. They also provide the trainings and seminar that you can take and improve. So CAS sector provides different support in different entrepreneurial areas in different sectors, and everyone knows that Kazakhstan has done a step forward in the last several years, in the last several decades, and taking into account that development is not only based on the raw materials. I would like to give the floor to Mr. Alisher Hakimov, who is a representative of KAZ Expo in Uzbekistan. Thank you very much, Mr. Timur. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I am very happy to greet all of you here. And I thank the organizers for giving me the speech, and also to the moderator to giving me the speech. I'm representative of Kazakh Importing Corporation in Uzbekistan, and we've been working from 2018. And Kaz Export is a national company. Actually, it was launched in 2017. It seems to be very small and simple, Kazakh export, but let me explain why can be useful for exporters in Kazakhstan and importers in Uzbekistan. So Kaz Export is the only development institution that provides export and loan actions. It works like XR in Russia and some other companies abroad. We have increased our assets to $240 million US dollars, and we have guarantees of $876 million. We can guarantee the execution of liabilities. We have more than 18 different products of support for the entrepreneurs. and we provide very favorable conditions for the entrepreneurs in Kazakhstan. We work only with exports, any goods that can be exported from Kazakhstan would be of interest for us. So we can help with attracting the loans, the banks. We provide the collateral, the guarantees. We are ready to help importers in importing countries to get the delayed payments to provide loans at the lower rates than in national banks. We are ready to subsidize and help to subsidize the raw material import in order with its further processing and adding its value to it. Speaking about we are ready to subsidize the rate of the remuneration and etc. All the goods that passed Kazakh export, they are very flexible and they can be processed even further. I don't want to take much of your time, but Kazakh export's main activity can be reviewed on kazakhexport.kz. It has full information about the support of exporters, the products that can be supported in importing countries. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much to you too. Definitely Kazakhstan is an actively existing on the market of Uzbekistan. It is well represented in financial sector and in production sector. Halkbank has opened its representative office in Uzbekistan and it's actively working in Uzbekistan. And it's pleasant to see that Kazakh companies and Kazakh organizations are working in Kazakhstan. Good luck, Kazakh export, to you for further development in Uzbekistan. For improving the strategy. Definitely improving the strategy will improve the trust atmosphere of trust between the partnering countries. So speaking about the issues of integration in the sphere of economics, we can say that trust to people is also very important, and it's part of our issues that we will discuss. And Perfit Partner Print representative is here today, and I would like to give the floor to you. Good afternoon, dear ladies and gentlemen. I'm very happy to greet you on this assembly. One of the main issues that we set today: what leaders do we need for the current development of economy? Currently, a big policy is going underway, going forward, and different managerial positions are available at medium level and the high level. And right now we're trying to set the connects. And for the leaders for the medium level and the lower level, we have a lot of questions. What the leaders should be like? There are many questions about the leaders. Mutual understanding, mutual exchange, cultural exchange, setting the connections. Assembly provides the opportunity to people to exchange necessary information, it provides different actions to unite people. It conducts events which helps to exchange international opportunities between different nations and religions and etc. One of the main issues, the questions one of the main questions of cybernetics was as follows: how to manage, how to govern. So the management system of all the toolboxes that you have shall be massive and complex. It should be comprehensive in order to evade any problems that can arise in the future. That means that system should include all the problems that can be born during the work in the future. If system can prevent all the problems, the system will be able to solve all the problems very fast. So if there is an opportunity to identify the critical moments, the new algorithm for preventing and solving the problems can be developed. So what is trust? Trust is mutual understanding. All the people of former Soviet Union, they are united by common idea. If any person from Uzbekistan or Tajikistan, Russia, or any other countries of Soviet Union, they can meet, they can speak and find common idea. So we have mutual understanding.
Спасибо большое, Исмаил. Действительно, это одна из главных.
Thank you, Ismail. Indeed, this is one of the key challenges to develop the space of trust. And Economic Council, actually, we have the Economic Council on cooperation, and Ismail is a co-chairperson of this council. And they work in the particular area to ensure mutual understanding and trust between the entrepreneurs of various countries. And now we move to Macedonia. We have here online Mr. Srechen Kaceski. He is the chairperson and the executive director of the Institute for Community Development of the National Umbrella Association for Education, Development and Social Services.
Dear Mr. Secretary General, colleagues and friends at Eurasian People's Assembly, I'm happy to have this opportunity to address this meeting, but unfortunately I was not there to join you in person. Nowadays, we are all aware about the importance of the dialogue and mutual respect for further development of Eurasian partnership. Cooperation and trust between the people based on respect, mutual support and tolerance is more than needed. Leadership is crucial in critical moments, requires experience and capacities, and combined with strategic and critical interpersonal communication, open-mindedness, creativity and flexibility, we can advance in society development and improvement of quality of life. There are great opportunities for the citizens of Eurasia, and based on unity, tradition and respect, most of all, we can further improve the quality of life of the citizens. It should be open region for business, ideas and movement of people, supporting new innovative approaches developed by its citizens. Economy is an important factor, and both government and civil society sector must pay attention and provide support to its citizens, especially to development of social economy and support to vulnerable groups. Economy in Eurasia should be developed based on mutual respect, tackling social issues, and must incorporate human approach, justice, mutual respect, something that in today's business mainstream is hard to see. What can civil society institutions and leaders do to create an atmosphere of business trust? The civil society organizations and leaders should have one of the leading roles in creating mutual trust based between the business entities. They could and should open channels of communication between all interested parties, providing opportunities and common space for them to come together and collaborate on points of common interest. I would also urge companies to incorporate values and principles mentioned before in their strategic documents and business plans, consulting also civil society organizations and other interested stakeholders. I strongly believe that this approach can result in benefits both for the business community but also the citizens in general, and might be a base of new mechanism for building a joint future based on humanity, justice, and mutual respect. In the end, I would like to thank you for this opportunity to address this meeting, and I wish you all the best.
As it is known, Uzbek nation created lots of historical art masterpieces, handicraft masterpieces, which are very unique. And the history of Uzbekistan and our handicrafts and artistic skills take particular position. And here in Uzbekistan, we have the Association of Handicraftsmen and artists, which unites people who are creative in arts and painting, and they are like their
И также много делают для
conductors for historical exchange, restoration of monuments, etc., production of souvenirs, etc. Mr. Ulukbek Abdullayev, he is the chairperson of their Association of Handicrafts and Artists of Uzbekistan, and I would like him to come up to here and make a presentation. Unfortunately, he is not with us today, but if he joins later, we'll give him the floor. And now, our next speaker is Alexander Ageev, Deputy Director, Secretary, Assembly of Nations, Eurasian Assembly of Nations, Director General Institute of Economic Strategies, Doctor of Science. He is very active in his institute as a director, and he is one of the lead economists, not only in Russia, but all over the Eurasian area. Thank you. Please.
Здравствуйте, коллеги. В эпицентре
Dear colleagues,
в Ташкенте
we see that there are two key issues covered by economic discussions. However, we simply discuss about culture, leadership, and trust, and the dialogue of civilizations and between people to make our world more safe and better. And I would like to stress now three key issues. First, who are the leaders today as we understand it in the common sense? And first, it is a person who inherits quite ancient understanding about the leadership. They are the heroes, like antique heroes. They were the representatives of the alliance between a woman and the gods. And then, in our understanding, the modern leader inherits this notion of the leadership and heroism, and they are ready to take up the responsibility on their shoulders, and they are ready to see more than the others, and ready to call others to follow him or her, regardless the risks, regardless the resistance, because the leaders are the strategists, and strategy always goes against something. If there is nothing to overcome, then there is no strategy. The second important moment of the current situation is about trust. It would be extra to say that the trust currently is going down tremendously. We don't trust each other. We don't listen to each other. We blame each other in different things. We don't understand the positions of each other. And it's not only in everyday life, but sometimes it looks really ridiculous, and even sometimes seen through diplomacy, sanctions, conflicts, escalation of conflicts. All this has started not yesterday and not 1 year ago, but but it started many years earlier, and the Director General of UN, Antonio Guterres, in January 2020, he said about four horsemen of apocalypse who are here, and
с ростом ядерной угрозы
this is because of the threat of nuclear dangerous situation and tragedy of many people, climate change, global distrust, and failure to trust between politicians and political institutions. We have inequality, and for many more and more people doubt today about globalization. And also he discussed about dark side of the digital world, because new cyber criminalism distributes lies and hates between people. And then in this situation, we see that those people who generate trust, who demonstrate that they trust and are trusted, they are the most rare today. Those are the peacemakers, those who are trusted. And how the economy reacts on this? The economy actually, as always, follows up in the current cultural situation, follows the epicenter of benefit and return. When they see the return, they inflow capital. First it goes money, then investments, then goods. And if we sum up the movement and of cash flow, but it comes to the disbalance, to the growth of disbalanced situation, it means the economy is not healthy. It is infected with some virus, and so without any extra diplomatic words, we can say this is the virus of egoism. It's a virus of cutting the tree on which we have built our modern life. There are certain businesses which are built up. But by doing these negative things, sometimes we can just cut the tree with fruits. And during these are the painful disbalance in the world when we see the disruption between the rich people and the majority of population. The majority lives in those areas where the lowest wealth is accumulated, and it wasn't created yesterday. It's accumulated over the last 200 years, I may say, when as a result of colonial policy, the greatest Eurasian spaces were cut off development opportunities and were just robbed by rich colonies. And this all should be amended. And we need to amend it in the way so to create economic opportunities, logistic links, military, strategic, and humanitarian links in order to build more and more growing trust between people. When a person trusts another person, then this trust may be created between the companies, institutions, and then trust between institutions will emerge into the trust between regions and then in between the countries, etc. And the current forum is intended for making very important steps towards increased and higher and better trust in all spheres of cooperation. And I believe that the trust is strengthened only when we feel our community, our common culture, common values. And these commonalities in values, it's not an abstract thing, and because it is led by our leaders who are heading us and understanding the future, know how to go to there, and capable to lead people. So I wish you all success and all the best at this summit. Thank you.
One of the main missions of the Moscow Chamber of Trade and Commerce is cooperation of the representatives of the chamber with different regional entrepreneurs and also help to get abroad. And Moscow Chamber helps to go abroad, to the markets abroad. And the floor is given to Mr. Konstantin Yurievich, who is head of the Commission for Eurasian Partnership in the Moscow Chamber of Trade and Union. Dear ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to me to be part of this event, and taking into account that there are many young people here, and taking into account that we will be discussing the leadership issues here, and seeing so many youngsters who are interested in leadership, in entrepreneurship, especially in the Central Asian area. This is a big pleasure for my eyes. And in the last decades, I could see how entrepreneurship has been developing. And during the 30 years of independence and sovereignty and the development after the collapse of Soviet Union, including the development of not only Uzbekistan but also Russia, we can draw some conclusions, and we can say that our potential can help us in the future improve our competitiveness on the global level. For me, Tashkent and Uzbekistan historically are very hospitable countries and city. But for Russia, Tashkent and Uzbekistan actually serves as a window to Central Asia. And it was like this for a long time. And as Mr. Manturov said, the representative of the government of Russia, too many people are connected with Uzbekistan by roots, because there are a lot of friends, relatives, some ties, and definitely the topic of partnership and collaboration is very important, and the partnership in economics is very important because it helps to develop the human capital in social areas, in humanitarian areas, and we cannot separate economics from politics or economics from the social sphere. So Uzbekistan and Russia has the ties, and also we have similarities. We have well-set ties, and they were never broken. Even after the collapse of Soviet Union, we were still having the ties. And today, when we were going through the city, learning about different cities of Uzbekistan, we can see that Uzbekistan has achieved a lot of improvement and development in sphere of construction, economics, politics, constitutional reforms are expected, the referendum is expected after several days, and Russia in this regard is a very strong partner, is a very trustworthy partner and friend of Uzbekistan. And I believe that these meetings like this one will serve as a platform which will help you to see new horizons, to develop new areas within the framework of the Eurasian partnership. I represent Moscow Chamber of Trade and Commerce, the biggest chamber of commerce, and we have more than 1,800 members. And secondly, I represent the Russian Academy, and one of the areas that we teach is intercultural mediation. I would like to mention that no country, Russia has a very good relationship with Uzbekistan, and no country has this kind of relationship as Russia and Uzbekistan. The agricultural sector of Uzbekistan, textile industry of Uzbekistan, they are well demanded, highly demanded in Russia, and the last years have proven that Russia and Uzbekistan are very, very, very close partners. And when we look at these complexes separately, autonomously, unfortunately, we can prove for sure that none of the sectors can survive without the partnership. Why it became like this? Because before we were a single country, we were united country, and all the capacities were built based on the idea that we are one country. It was a planned economy, and each republic was responsible for some particular sector. And after 30 years, after so much development, and despite the presence of the mining plants, smelting plants, development of the mining industry, not only in Tashkent, but other cities of Uzbekistan, as well as the production of oil and gas in Chelyabinsk and etc. Still, the ties are very important. And for example, Lukoil is also present in Uzbekistan. This shows about the ties that we have between our countries. And this basis, this foundation has been set during the time when we were a united country. And based on the good mission and good vision, the ties were set, and they're still ongoing. Many specialists at the higher level, they say that the economy of Uzbekistan, of Central Asia, and economy of Uzbekistan, they complement each other. They cannot survive separately, but at the same time, when they complement, they give a better result. It's in light industry, energy industry, textiles, and etc. When we speak about Eurasian Economic Union, when we speak about the Eurasian partnership, all the issues, all the problems can be solved by partnership, including agricultural sector. For example, speaking about the Uzbek fruits, we have so many Uzbek fruits that are exported from Uzbekistan. I went to the markets of Uzbekistan, and I could see that there are a lot of house appliances of Russia in Uzbekistan, and we have house appliances from Uzbekistan in Russia. So there is a big products exchange between our countries. Future leaders of our countries are sitting now in the hall, and I hope that you will be able to understand that ties are very important for Eurasia. And Eurasia is a huge continent full of opportunities, and I could see a lot of specialists here, future specialists. And when I was younger, I also had the challenges, and I had the choice which way to choose, which technologies to choose, and I bet you will face the same challenges. Right now, actually, there is nothing hard in front of you, but there is nothing easy as well. With development of industry, culture, economics, we need to cooperate in order to create competitive goods and create leaders of the economy. And here I would like to say that the basis, the foundation of the cultural cooperation is the date that united all of us. 57 years ago, the Tashkent earthquake happened. 300,000 people left houseless. And the courageous people of Uzbekistan survived because all the people from all the Soviet Union has arrived in several days to Tashkent, and in 3.5 years, because of the unification of all the nations, the city was rebuilt. And the historical traditions, historical experiences, and the partnership and the trust to each other will help us to cooperate and solve the issues that are arising. And the cooperation of Uzbekistan with Russia is also supported by the amount of population of Uzbeks living in Russia. We have labor migrants, we have products of Uzbekistan in Russia, and Moscow is important.
Thank you very much. Very right and correct messages we have, and we have so many similarities in our history, and also I'm sure in the future we'll have even more. The countries of Africa have great potential for cooperation on the Eurasian space, both with the countries of Eurasian Economic Union and with the countries of the bigger Eurasia. And just recently we visited Jordan or Egypt, and considering that African direction is of strategic importance currently, you know that in July, a big summit of Russian African countries will be organized in St. Petersburg. Economic Humanitarian Forum will be organized, and in our Assembly of Nations of Russia, we created a Department of Africa. This is a very important area, and we are developing this. It is headed by Serge Focus. He is the leader of the Center for Business Development with Russia. Please, your attention to the screen.
Здравствуйте, дорогие друзья. Спасибо большое,
Good
что вы мне
afternoon,
давали
dear friends. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to make a speech in front of you within this event. For the beginning, I would like to thank the organizers of the Forum INAPROM event and also the Assembly of Eurasian Nations for the provided opportunity to deliver the speech during your event. I would wish to be in person here in Tashkent. Unfortunately, I couldn't manage this. Tashkent is a wonderful city. I've been there once, but the most important is that I believe that we need to organize more such meetings, not just like trade shows, but also we need to develop cultural ties. It's impossible to discuss business development, any relationships without knowing each other. And I believe that cultural aspect is the most important here. And as we want to build a building, how can we do it without a foundation? It's impossible. Therefore, within the framework of your activity, I would advise you very much in the future to think of how to organize such events more frequently, not only in Russia, in Tashkent, or elsewhere, like in some of the African countries, in order to demonstrate all the opportunities of Africa to the Eurasian community, because our culture is the basis of all. If we don't develop the culture, then it's hard to receive a good result and business relationships. And we know that policy also, people's diplomacy also plays a role because African people, I would say, they have a very different mentality, different from Eurasian mentality, I must say. Those people are different, and we need to understand how to cooperate with them. And then after this would simplify the communication and connectivity. And without taking long of your time, I would like to thank you once again for giving me the opportunity to share my ideas. And I believe that we need to expand this organization and cover the Black Continent within the big Eurasia. I believe that this will engage African partners to participate in your activities, not only in Russia and other regions as well. Why not in Eurasian countries? And think in the future to arrange another event not in Russia or Tashkent, but in Africa, to pre-select a country, a city, and then decide to organize an event there. Why not? The participants from the neighboring countries will come. Africa is divided into 5 zones. If we take Western countries of Africa, they have 15 countries. It's enough to organize one event of such a format like in APROM or any other. Then I believe that in Côte d'Ivoire, for instance, or in Benema, and then we could invite all the participants. They don't have any borders between the countries. 15 countries will come together and they will call for friends to come, and partners from other Eurasian countries would go to Benin or to whatever you select. As you select. And then they will exchange experience, exchange their contacts as well, and this will create more opportunities to demonstrate the events within the framework of INAPROM or Eurasian Assembly of Nations and other kinds of activities which are aimed at development and strengthening of relationships between the Eurasian countries and the other world. Thank you very much for listening to my rather long speech. I didn't expect that to be so long. I hope you understand my idea, and my Russian is not very good. However, I believe that together you understood my message, and I apologize if I said something wrong. Thank you very much. So building up an atmosphere of trust and cooperation and doing business is an active position for the benefit of public and personal interests. And now I invite Rahim John Nazarov, Director of the company GNA, member of the Eurasian Assembly of Nations, on behalf of Uzbekistan, please.
Спасибо. Спасибо еще раз.
Thank you once again for the provided opportunity to deliver my speech at this very important forum. I used to work in information and ideological support, and my presentation would be devoted to this particular aspect. The basis of partnership is the trust. And without trust, how can we cooperate? How could we work jointly? As the previous speakers mentioned, trust, and trust is everything. In the area of forming trust in between of our countries, I would like to mention the following. For those who are present in this room, I would like to recollect a person, the great thinker who built up the trust between of our countries, Mr. Eurasian. I know you since we've been known each other since 2000 when we together fought terrorism, and we worked together with you. And Valery was personally recognized as an active participant of anti-terrorism project. And I know that Mr. Valery, it's not just to say compliments to him, it's about our topic of this discussion. When he studied the history of our cooperation and partnership of the CIS countries, during the Second World War, he performs a great activity on restoring that level of trust which was built back those years. I believe that it is very important because the experience of the past, our friendship and cooperation that we had before, over the time of the previous historical events, is now inbuilt into our gene memory. And when we look for the platform for trust, we need to be backed up by the history. As a Russian writer said, Mr. Shukshin, we don't need to look for customs. The customs are in our memory. We don't need to look for experience. It is in ourselves, inside. Therefore, mutual understanding and trust is based mostly on our historical memory, and we should continue our activity on rebuilding this trust again, develop based on our recent past. So to avoid the situation when we find ourselves on the disintegrated, stones of the building which were built during the previous periods. In this particular aspect, when today we develop joint projects and work in the area of joint business ideas, we build bridges for developing the trust and partnership in between of our countries. And moreover, it is a real need, and we have a trend of such cooperation, and it is well known in the world. For instance, the BRICS, when countries join together, trust each other, and keep up with doing joint activities. And also Shanghai Cooperation Organization also is another platform which is one of their organizer of today's event. When discussing about the category of trust, we should remember about such factors like languages, mentality, religion, and etc. When we discuss that, we should also mention the fact that they usually don't recognize that during our development of mutual trust, we need to move away. We shouldn't forget about the national language. The national language should continue developing in each country. Along with that, there should be some languages for communication. So we need to find the communication language, because we cannot communicate our national languages. We need to have some platforms based on which we could continue our communication, like the common language. There are some opinions that we need to throw something away from our history and go for developing only national languages. I don't think it is the right position, and also the leadership of our country supports that. In order to avoid being left behind the scene of the history, we need to still communicate the common language. which is the Russian language, which was developed by itself. And we need to actually, today we communicate Russian language, and it is our common language, and we understand each other. And if we look at wider, then the next communication means is the English language. Without English language, we cannot continue communicating in the other world. We need to know the English language, and in our post-Soviet Union language, we need to maintain the Russian language. And here, when we discuss about the means for communication, I would like to mention the United Arab Emirates. You all know Dubai. And over 40 years, very short historical period, they managed from Bedouin tents to develop the most modern economy in the world. And in the United Arab Emirates, they still remember their own language. They develop it. However, the language for education and language for management is the English language. And it doesn't prevent for existence of both. Thank you very much. Our time is over. Unfortunately, we have to interrupt you. Thank you very much. And I didn't want to make the main focus on languages. However, one minor thing I would like to say, our country and the leadership of our country announced the movement towards the third Renaissance. And we have the reasons for that. The first and the second Oriental Renaissance, 9th, 12th century, then the century of Timurids, originated from Uzbekistan, actually. And nowadays, Uzbekistan is on the path towards the third Renaissance. And it is done with a focus on the point that Uzbekistan has its capacity development opportunities. It has this historical basis, and it will encompass all positive things from all over the world in order to ensure personal development, freedom, and the best economic development. Thank you very much. And in continuation of this topic, just two topics. Mr. Eurasian, who is not just Deputy Director Secretary, General Secretary, he has the Russian Academy of Television and Radio. 2 minutes, please. It's very difficult to deliver in 2 minutes anyhow. I would like to improvise together with our respected colleagues who said very correct and wise things. However, they put economics in front of all. They say the economics is the foundation, but it is not. Of course, the culture is the foundation. I must say that the ideas rule the world, and together with we can say, like a Russian neighbor could say, we had good things with economies. However, what happened in their heads in terms of cultural development when the country turned into mankurts? This is well-known notion from one book. And I believe that we need Eurasian information breakthrough. We need the effect of Cometa to create Eurasian information space to overcome the economy of centrism when we are so much focused on economic viability. However, we need to go out of the scope with their image of what we want to see as new Eurasia, where we could create the trust in political sphere. However, the material life is realized in the cultural space through the senses and values which we are given through spiritual sphere, from internet to television and printed products, etc. And the economy also creates not just the foundation, and the conscience determines the existence, I believe that, and our colleague Serge from Africa was very right about it. And integration is always something that complicates life. We need to manage it all and promote in the areas of ideas. Otherwise, we would have discrepancies. One more, stop, please. As always, I give less time than all. They give me less time than all have. And another important topic covered here is about breakthrough ideas in the economy and for economy, the topic of leaders. Here in Uzbekistan, they proposed one revolutionary idea.
Нурали Латыпова, там могу потом сказать, какой и сейчас.
And speaking about what's going on now, now we are having a book, Arabic Renaissance of Iskhakov. And this is about the creation of the global trading platform, which will change the economic relationship completely between the businessmen and other actively involved people involved into the business. And now it seems to be a very crazy idea, but at the same time I would say that the crazy people actually are geniuses. And they changed the world because they changed the world, actually, because of their crazy ideas that in the end turn up to be genius. And I highly advise to meet the author, Timur Askhakov. And for Eurasian European community, it's very important. Thank you very much. You are definitely right that we should create new community of young leaders. And one of the examples of this is my neighbor, Mr. Shadia, who is head of the line distribution. What do new generation of entrepreneurs think? How the economic cooperation can be developed on the economic area? You have 2 minutes. Thank you very much for your question. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, all the delegates, participants of this session. I would like to start my dialogue that many people now, when they speak about the partnership and the trust between the entrepreneurs and the business people, they say that the trust is based on the entrepreneurs and businessmen who prove their advantage by offering something unique. When you understand the mechanisms of governing, of managing, it's easier to get
предпринимателями и бизнесменами, когда они встречаются в таких полях, саммитах, форумах.
So to develop our partnership through the forums, however, we need to have our business model, the management model for certain businesses. We are the distributors, exclusive distributors of many international and European, Eurasian companies present here in Uzbekistan, and we are the greatest distributor on the Uzbek market, and we always demonstrate our competitive advantage as to other competitors, and we are ready to meet at such big forums, economic platforms, and communicate. And we prove to each other which criteria we need to base our cooperation on to improve our relationships in Eurasian partnership with Uzbekistan. And the last word I would like to mention about food security. Currently, we have a very big project going on, and Uzbekistan does a lot to ensure food security, both for domestic market and Eurasian market. And Uzbekistan is one of the greatest suppliers and takes the leading position in terms of exporting agricultural produce to the Eurasian space. We take 82% of exported fruit and vegetables to the market of Eurasian countries. And it talks about the leadership position of Uzbekistan on this market. And then this is the global area, and food security is the global concern everywhere, and it draws particular attention of all the businessmen and public bodies. So I wish everyone the best programs which could provide strengthening between Eurasian space and Uzbek national program for cooperation on the international area. Thank you very much, and you are the very right example of an open person ready for cooperation. We have another speech to be delivered from France, Mr. Didier Chaudzin. He is the president of Russian-French Economic Chamber of Commerce, Deputy Director General of the Assembly of Eurasian Nations. Thank you. Dear friends, dear colleagues, what is the sense today in the words of the global cooperation between the nations? We need to act in order to find mutual understanding. And this is very urgent and vitally important. Sometimes today people lose the sense of values. When they say everything for economy, it is not the real thing today. And the growing human and social crisis which we observe all over the world is coupled with a real environmental catastrophe. And how to address this tremendous problem? We could act only collectively. That's the solution. And we believe that wherever a region is, the human person should go away from materialism and strive to seeking for spiritual values of his or her existence, the cultural foundations, knowledge of languages, arts, religions, all the basis for human civilization. And they take away individualism in the benefit of collective thinking. And the whole world now is slipping from West to Asia. We have new zones of balance originating and tension zones as well. And more than ever before, people strive to justice and reliable civilization. And for that, we could have different paths besides economic path. And the Assembly of Eurasian Nations tries to find the answers to the contradictions all over the front line of cultural, ethnic, artistic, sports, and others. Let me tell you very briefly, as a small example, about my personal and modest approach. So, after every trip I have to Eurasia, I publish some memoir in the social networks. And one of the recent memoirs was about visit to Orthodox church in Jerusalem. And this memoir, like the others, was met in France positively and generated great interest to another culture. And this is the constructive sense for cultural exchange. And the same reportage I made from Armenia recently, I also received many positive feedback and great interest to learn with the stories and culture of another country. All these acts, they may not be significant, even minor. However, in such a spoiled world, every voluntary gesture is a small step on the way to the peace. The culture will save the world, Dostoevsky said. We believe in humankind, and this means that we contribute to its change. And I believe that all of us are on this way. And thank you very much for your attention. And the most of all, looking forward to meeting you all soon. Thank you, Didier. And recently in Russia, they created the National Center for People's Diplomacy and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Such centers exist in various countries, and our partner Center of People's Diplomacy, Mr. Korolev, on behalf of SCO, will speak about your ideas. Just 2 minutes. How do you see SCO and Eurasian partnership, and what future do they have?
Assalamu alaikum.
Good afternoon, dear participants. It's very hard to make a speech within 2-minute limit. And taking into account our very dynamic environment and timing, when we spent dozens of hours for the analyzing of the information, and we have so much data, making the resume and fitting it in 2 minutes is very hard. So the Shanghai Cooperation Organization is one of the cooperation centers on Eurasian continent. And it starts, in the end, the SCO history starts in the end of 20th century by the meeting for discussing the interregional cooperation and border issues. It was created by the Shanghai, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan, and it was said to be Shanghai Big Five. But in 2001, Uzbekistan, by the entrance of Uzbekistan into the organization, we have created additional regulations, and then Pakistan and Iran has joined the organization. And last year in Samarkand summit in Uzbekistan, Iran has also joined SCO. And when we speak about the process of SCO, the acceptance of SCO, SCO has more than half of the population of the world population, and it consists of more than a quarter of the area of the planet. And SCO deals with the vertical structure, and the horizontal structure is also ongoing. And also speaking about leaders, when we speak about big Eurasia, we speak about the trust, cooperation, and the big barrier and cooperation between that is ongoing from that launched from Tashkent and Uzbekistan. Is the big example of the cooperation was 57 years ago when the earthquake happened, and as it was said, all the Soviet countries, all the former Soviet countries have sent their specialists in order to rebuild the city. And I remember this from the childhood, when the first constructors, first civil engineers have come to Uzbekistan, and they put the wooden plate, and the plate said Tashkent will become the best city of the country. And they did not say republic. At that time there was no republic. We were a country. And now the leaders of our countries are meeting all together, and SCO, BRICS, Eurasian Council, all of these unions are building the partnership relationship. The integration is very important. The integration that for thousands of years have been uniting people. And I would like to speak and repeat the words of our other speakers who kept saying that cooperation is very important. On the territory of big Eurasia, SCO countries, BRICS countries, building the space full of cooperation is very important, and cooperation should be built on competitive advantage of our countries. And this is the task that we're solving now. This is the task that our leaders have set. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Korolev. I would like to give a little note. I remember how SCO has started. There were different issues that were discussed. It was regional cooperation, and the most of the issues were related to the border control, border after the Shanghai Cooperation Organization has increased and went larger, it started solving not only the security and the border issues, but also the other issues such as economical development, economical cooperation, information technologies, innovations, and etc. So the organization is evolving to be a new, completely new organization with different missions and visions. And definitely the organizations has been very loyal to its policy, to its mission and vision, and it envisaged very important issues, and taking into account.
Спасибо за содержательное выступление.
And taking into account that the chairmanship is being transferred from one country to another country in Shanghai Cooperation Organization, the organization was very successful. Thank you very much, dear speakers, for giving the speech, being part of our panel session. I hope that all of you have enjoyed the opportunity to speak out, and I hope that you heard a lot of important things. I hope that all the words that were said here, especially partnership, cooperation, leadership, complementary actions, all of those will be implemented, and in all the phrases and words will be used during the education in the universities of Uzbekistan, because more than 70% of population in Uzbekistan, they are youth. It is youth, less than 25 years of age, and the young youth is very important for Uzbekistan. Then in 10 minutes, we will move to our other next session, which is a role of national diplomacy in development of